Hey guys, it's Jeremy here, Metal Music Meltdown, back with another video. What I for today, guys, is the next installment of my top 10 albums of each year. If you're new to the channel, welcome. What I've been doing is my top 10 albums of each year, starting back in 1970, working my way through the years. And we're up till 2006. A really solid year for albums, some of my favorites from some bands I really enjoy. So let's jump right in, guys, and see what made my list. At number 10, I went with the mighty Slayer with Christ Illusion. It is their 10th studio album. This was their kind of attempt to redo like a Rain and Blood Part 2, in my opinion. It was very, they tried to capture the intensity, etc., brutality, but didn't quite catch the same, and it obviously wasn't as good as Rain and Blood, but a really solid album nonetheless. So I had to make at least the bottom of my list. At number 9, I went with Cataclysm's In the Arms of Devastation. I love Cataclysm, one of my favorite bands from Canada. Really, really good melodic death metal, and just a really killer album. Not one of their best per se, but they don't really have a weak album in my opinion, and I had to make my list. Number 8, I went with Amorphis Eclipse. It's their 7th studio album. Love Amorphis, another band with no really weak albums in their discography. They seem to just be getting better and better. And I still have to pick up some of their albums from my collection. I don't have all of them, but love this band. Got into them a little bit later, but definitely want to buy up all their stuff. Every album's a killer. Number 7, I went with Come Clarity by INF Flames, their 8th studio album. A lot of people don't like this album as much, but I think it's pretty solid. It's really great still. I'm one of the few people who really enjoys all of INF Flames albums, even the newer ones, where they went more mainstream or alternative sounding. I still enjoy those albums. They're still pretty heavy to me, have really good riffs, just some really memorable songs. I don't know why people crap on those as much, saying they sold out and whatever. I still dig them. I still think they're pretty good. Always loved INF Flames. Killer live band too. And at number 6, I went with the mighty Cannibal Corpse, the legends of death metal, with their album Kill. It's their 10th studio album. Definitely one of my favorites from this band, probably top 3 or 4. Really solid track list from top to bottom. One I go back to more than some of the others, and just a really solid album. At number 5, I went with Odin on Our Side by Amara Mar. This is kind of the era when I was really heavily into Amara Mar. Saw them live a bunch of times, either in concert or at festivals. And just a really good live band, really good melodic death metal band from Sweden. And they had a string of albums there where, in my opinion, they just did no wrong. Going between, let's see here. Well, it's not important now, I guess, but yeah, from like Versus the World, Fate of Norns with Odin on Our Side, Twilight of the Thunder God, like those string of albums was their best string in my opinion. So yeah, with Odin on Our Side's always been one of my favorites by this band. Really solid album, top to bottom. And their newer stuff is really good still, but it's kind of sounds like they're putting out the same album over and over at this point. But still okay, it still sounds good, but it's just getting like kind of repetitive. Number 4, I went with A Matter of Life and Death by the mighty Iron Maiden. Definitely one of my favorite albums from the newer era. This is their 14th studio album. One of my favorite album covers from them as well. It looks really sweet. And like I said, aside from Brave New World, this might be probably my favorite album since Bruce came back. I'm trying to give another album that might be better. Book of Souls is pretty good too. But yeah, this is probably one of my favorites since he came back. It's just a solid album. One I go back to all the time. And for my top 3, these were kind of the albums that kind of came to my mind more quickly when I thought of this year. At number 3, I went with The Great Cold Distance from Catatonia. One of my introductory albums to this band. Fucking love these guys. They have like the depressive, atmospheric metal sound. They do it perfectly. Just when you're in the mood for it, it just sounds really good. It's kind of a blend of alternative, doom metal. It's hard to explain. They just have a unique sound. Really, really good stuff. This one has the big single for them, My Twin, which was massive. But yeah, if you're definitely familiar with Catatonia, definitely check them out. All their albums are killer. Number 1 and 2 for me were pretty interchangeable. Either one could be number 1 at any day for this year. But I decided to put number 2, Blood Mountain by Mastodon. For the longest time, this was my favorite Mastodon album, and even now, I might consider it might still be my favorite. Love the artwork. This one and Crack the Sky are pretty much tied for number 1, but a lot of the days I like Blood Mountain a little bit more. It just has songs on it that I kind of remember more, and it just has more songs that I like personally a little bit more than on Crack the Sky. Like Sleeping Giant, Colony of Birchmen, of course. The Wolf is Loose. There's so many great songs on this album. It's so good. And at number 1, I went with Kalma's The Black Waltz, their 4th studio album. If you're not familiar with Kalma, fucking amazing, like melodic death metal band from Finland. They have like this like super epic, going to war, grandioso kind of sound to them. It's really hard to explain, but you have to listen to them to understand. Killer band, great vocals, great guitar riffs. And yeah, you have to listen to these guys if you're not familiar with them. The new album from this year kicks so much ass. The self-titled, it'll definitely make my year-end list, so stay tuned for that. It's coming soon. But yeah, this album is killer. I had to put it number 1. It's always been my favorite Kalma album of all time. So definitely check these guys out if you're not familiar. So let me know down below, guys, what your favorite albums from 2006 were. And stay tuned for 2007. I've been doing these pretty quickly the last week or two. I've been cranking them out. I've done like 3 or 4 of them in the last couple weeks. So I'm not sure how soon I'll do 2007. But definitely hit the notification bell so you will get notified when it does come up. And thank you for watching, guys. If you're new to the channel, definitely join the Metal Music Meltdown family. And until next time, keep it metal.